One of the hardest things for many communicators is how to actually start a talk, how to start a speech, and how to land it and bring it in for a great ending. If you struggle with that, stick around. I'm going to give you some practical advice today on how to take off and how to land with your talks. Hi, it's a Trigger, Rich Bontrager, back for another Leaders and Communicators. And today, I'm going to share from my 25 years as a communicator, as a broadcaster, as a pastor, as a leader, and how to effectively design a talk that launches great, takes off, and how it lands. My goal is to help you not only be a better communicator, but through that, become a more effective leader through our talks and conversations. So, let's talk about how you begin this whole thing. Step number one, you have to craft your talk with the end in mind. Think of your ending first. Above everything else, what is that one thing, maybe two things that you want them to take away from hearing you speak and talk? The big takeaways. So your theme of the day is love, grace, forgiveness, maybe being a great dynamic leader, maybe being a risk taker. But put your end in mind, and what is that final thing that you want them to know? See, I've seen many speakers get up and have great inspiring talks. Powerful, passionate, energizing, and it crashes at the end because what they do very often is they don't really know in their mind how to wrap it up. They don't know what the big takeaway is. They have 5 or 6 wonderful thoughts and comments and phrases, go-to things they always pull out of their hats, great illustrations and stories, but the ending is like a crash of a plane wreck. And everyone in the room knows it. They leave confused and dazed. Why did they come? As a communicator, it's your job to help them know, here's the takeaway. Here's what I wanted you to learn. Be very clear on that. That takes me to point number 2. Step number 2, write down your intro and your outro. I know you've been speaking for a long time. You've been doing this professionally, or maybe you want to show your passion. Maybe you want to show that your empathetic heart, and you kind of ad-lib it and change it up because you're reading the vibe of the room, or you want to show you're transparent. Don't do it. The best thing you can do is write down the introduction. Here's how you're going to set up your talk. Here's where you're going to drive it and fly it and soar with it. Set it up really well. Engage your audience really well. And then make sure you have a great landing. Don't deviate from it. I've done it. Many people have done it. And at the end, you just crash and burn. For example, I had a friend back in college. I remember this all the way back in college, opening his speech by screaming as loud as he could, jumping on a chair, and he got our attention. The whole talk was about fear. What are you afraid of? But that scream, that yell was all in his note cards, and he had to make sure he launched it off well. So by the end, he could tell you how not to be afraid, how to overcome fears. It works. Also, in the middle of a talk, you can have a rabbit trail. Someone could talk, a cell phone could go off, and you get distracted in the moment, and you lose your train of thought. If you have your intro and your outro, no matter when those distractions happen, you can always go back to those and know, I can begin it well, I can finish it well, and they will remember it no matter what happens in between. It's vital to write the intro and write the outro and stick with your plan. Now, the third thing is you got to have some excitement. You got to have some passion. Put some energy in your talk. This takes practice because a lot of times we stand there with our arms down and we just have a talk. And we're kind of afraid to show our emotion, and we're worried about every word and everything. It doesn't work, people. I'm sorry, it doesn't. Very few people can pull that off. It's a rare gift, but instead, as communicators, we need to have our gifting. We need to hone our skills, and you need to show you have some conviction with this talk. You really like what you're talking about. You're very excited about this conversation. Engaging the audience. Often I'll tell other communicators, break the glass. Imagine there's a glass wall between you and the stage and between the people that you want to engage with. Part of what you need to do is punch through that glass and let them know there is no glass. I'm with you, you're with me. You draw them into the conversation, and it will be your engagement. It will be your excitement that will help you do that. So when you land that, maybe you've had a very emotional talk, and maybe there's been tears that have been shed. Maybe people are really emotionally wound up. You've touched their hearts. You took them someplace. Now, in the ending, bring them back. Make them feel safe and have them have that takeaway. But the emotion and the engagement is so powerful, it will stay with them for a very long time. So, communicators, leaders, remember, have the end in mind. Start with the end. What do you want them to get? Write it down. Write down the beginning and the end. And make sure you engage them with everything you have. I hope this has been helpful. Please go down below, hit the bell, subscribe to this, and then you'll never miss another video here for leaders and communicators. Put down a comment. What do you think are the vital things to include in a talk that you want to give? How good are you with the introductions? Have you crashed and burned on a couple of landings at the end of the talk? Let me hear your feedback here today. Like, subscribe, comment, and join me next time on another Leaders and Communicators. For now, I'm the Trigger Rich Bontrager. God bless, and have a great day.